Hello there, Internet. Version 2 here with Let's Watch Danganronpa 3, The End of Hope's Peak Academy, Despair Arc, Episode 3. I got it right this time. I actually said the Despair Arc and didn't say the wrong one. I don't know. Aren't they just both the Despair Arc because everything's just despair and depressing? I mean, so far we haven't had any despair actually happen in the Despair Arc. But given that on the end of the last episode of the Despair Arc that we saw, a character was introduced who we know dies. Maybe it's about to start getting despair-inducing. Hard to say whether they'll die this episode or not. Like, how many episodes of build-up is going to be before Fuyuhiko's sister is fucking murdered. Is it? Yeah. Because Fuyuhiko's sister is killed by, I think it was Sato, was it? The one in the Twilight murder novel mystery thing. Sato killed Fuyuhiko's sister, and then Sato was killed by Fuyuhiko. I think that's how it played out. I think it was. And then when it came over to there, that's why Pekka killed Mahiru. Just for, like, finding out the truth of just like, oh, you're kind of responsible for Fuyuhiko's sister dying. Let me fucking kill you too. Bam. Bam with a bamboo stick. So, you know, just bear shit will probably happen on this time. It's not going to be all fun, wacky hijinks anymore. Hopefully, less date rape drugs are involved in this episode. Sex Pest is going to be alive this entire thing, and that is by far why the main reason that this is going to be a despair-inducing arc. Anyway, enough of me crapping on. Watching this on Crunchyroll, as always, I apologize. There is a link down in the Dream Drop to the episode that we're currently watching. You can avoid ads, you can avoid, not being able to watch it because of regional reasons. Beyond that, I can't say anything because, again, don't want to take any risks. That's why we're doing it this way in the first place, so we don't take risks. So, with that, we're going to count down from 5 and go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. On go, I'm pressing go. We're starting from 0 because, I worked it out. Hey, press left and right if you want to adjust the time for that because, yay, Crunchyroll's video player is great. So, with that, I'm just going to shut up and let's start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Who's the pink-haired girl in the Funimation logo too? There's a lot going on in that Funimation logo, and it just seems over the top. It's the best animation of the entire freaking series, I bet. Oh yeah, and was Hajime about to accept going into the Hope thing? Was he about to accept it, or was he talking about it? Because that old dude who's from the Future Arc, I think, was talking to him about it. I think. But unfortunately, I was a useless piece of shit. Hi, all these wacky characters. Yeah, Buki playing guitar as you're walking. Not in luck. Aw, so upset. And the super happy intro that we get here. The question is, will this intro stay happy the entire time? Or as fucked up things happen, is the intro going to get fucked up? It's amazing how much the cast of Danganronpa 2 get to do. Like Leon Kuwata? No, he's fucking dead and you'll never see him again. He'll never be in any of these things. But all these characters in DR2, even the ones who died, nah, you get to see them for an entire anime being fun, happy friends, yay. Which, again, as I mentioned before, is kind of annoying because I prefer the cast of DR1. Again, my main thing, it's like the entirety of Danganronpa 2. There are more characters in Danganronpa 2 that I really like compared to how many characters in Danganronpa 1 that I really like. But there are also more characters in Danganronpa 2 that I either straight up hate or don't particularly care about compared to how many characters I straight up hate or don't particularly care about in Danganronpa 1. Again, that's my entire opinion of Danganronpa 2 compared to Danganronpa 1. The better parts of Danganronpa 2 are more frequent and better, but the worst parts of Danganronpa 2 or the average parts of Danganronpa 2 are also more frequent and a lot worse than the parts of Danganronpa 1. Danganronpa 1 is a more consistent, like, 7 or 8, where Danganronpa 2 jumps from, like, a 4 to a 9 at all different points. Well, okay, well, also goes, like, 8, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 9, like, right at the end. Because chapter 2, 3, and 4 are not great. Hello. Oh, that's just mean. Oh. Hey, I recognize this music. Super high school level little sister. Yep. But you're in the reserve course. If you're ultimate little sister, why are you in the reserve course? Or are you just saying that? Well, I can still get talent. Interesting. She's a lot more like Hajime than I realized from the dead corpse that I saw of her in the first game. The second game, I mean. Mahiru? You're... Oh, you like to think of with the freckles. Sato! Wasn't Sato? I thought Sato was blonde. Huh. How do you know Mahiru, by the way? Oh, that's okay. They both know Mahiru from their primary school. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Oh, hi, Mahiru. Why are you walking through the reserve building? Plain Jane. Hello. Man, you really act like a lot like Fuyuhiko. This is how Fuyuhiko acted at the start of the game. It was only when Pekka was killed that he stopped being like that. That actually doesn't sound like Mahiru. It's not no talent, it's just not the best at that talent in the world. Story... Interesting. Refused to punch Mahiru. Holy fucking shit. Nozomi. You are just, like, aggressive as shit. Was that her name? Nozomi? And you're good at it. Like, Sato doesn't seem jealous. Sato just seems to be friends with her. Nozomi, though. Coming from you, that means she must be fucking crazy. Huh? Hi, Vicky. So why are they not things together? Aww! Aww! Of course she did. Did that straight up say Nintendo at the top? Oh, Nintendo. Friends. I think. Aww. I mean, he still turns around and does it. Unless he's kidnapped, I guess. Oh, cool. These two are going off. Okay. You say that a lot. Like, how quickly does it take for you to turn around and kill her? Like, does something more serious other than threats happen before you turn around and kill her? Or does it just happen, like, so super quickly? Hello? So are you. Friendship, yeah. Jeez. What is the talent of little sister even mean being? Also, is the way that she's acting going to convince him to turn around and go through with it? Like, you going to listen to her over Chiaki? He's going to let that convince him to not go through with it because of that. Oh, Natsumi. Natsumi's already dead. She's already dead. Didn't Hajime just walk away from her? Holy shit, that was fast. Holy fucking shit, Sato. That was really quick. Yeah, Pekka would be furious. Yeah. It's amazing how quickly Sato actually turned around to kill her. But I guess if it's something that's been building up since primary school, that kind of makes sense. Like, how many days at the school has Natsumi been at the school for before she'll turn around and killed? Don't smile like that after saying that. Jesus. Gone crazy with grief. Has she already been killed or has she just not shown up? Yeah. Happens very quickly. Alright, 2 people already dead. Sato, killed off screen. Oh, is this? Oh, no, okay. I figured it might be Taka. No, it's you. Alright, okay. That died from the shock. That's what they do. The steering committee does that pretty damn goddamn soon. Every time. How often does this happen? Every time one of you dies? Have people died here before? Or is it just those two? God, I hate this guy so much. This guy's such a scumbag. God, I hate this guy so much. Oh, you actually hit him. Holy shit, Cheezer. God, I hate this guy so much. You didn't need to hit out of her hand. She was helping you. Come on, Hajime. So they're here for a reason. Okay. Yeah, you're all part of that, I feel. Yeah, there's Mahiro. Yeah, it's the steering committee. So you're just acting like an asshole because it's the right thing to do. Doesn't explain why you're always an asshole, though. Hajime didn't show up. Oh. Hey, he did! Nah. He's been lost. Nah, he's gonna go accept it. Too many people have gotten to him. Too much death has happened, and he's too much of an asshole. And yeah, abandoning Chiaku. Nah, he's still no. He's let everyone else get to him way too much. Yep, there it is. There's the steering committee. There they are. There was no actual outro on that one. I noticed that while Cheezer was talking, the credits were there and then they just stopped. They didn't show any, like, there was no outro for that one. It was just going into that. Okay. It's weird that the prequel thing seems to have the plot moving a lot faster than the future thing. Everything was Sato just then, and Natsumi felt like it happened very quickly. I was just like, oh yeah, we totally said in Danganronpa 2 that this thing happened, so we kind of have to include it. So they kind of just made it happen as fast as possible to just kind of get it done with. Like that's like a really horrifying moment. Like it was the whole focus of chapter 2 because of how strongly it affects Peko, Fuyuhiko, and Mahiru, and to an extent Mikan and others, because Sato was a friend with Mikan and other people, but as it's shown, them mainly friends with Mahiru because of primary school. And it was a big deal then, and like we didn't even see Fuyuhiko respond to his dead sister other than one little look, and we didn't see him like think about or talk or react or anything about the fact that he killed Sato. Like none of that was shown in any capacity. It was just kind of just done with really quickly. I mean, I get they can't just like replay or just like spend too much time focusing on it because that whole plot point has already been like done in a previous game, but it's just like Fuyuhiko's sister's dead. Like that feels like it's important, and one of Mahi's best friends is dead. Feels a bit more important, but oh well. So Cheezer, violent asshole, and I'm assuming Hat Dude are all part of Munakata's plan to be in the school to investigate the fact that the school's kind of shitty now, which I'm gonna guess comes a lot down to the steering committee, because it's the steering committee's idea to sweep the murders under the rug, to do everything that they do with Hajime to turn him into a Zuru who ends up like being a big issue because of the ultimate despair, shit like that. So Munakata is like aware that something like the steering committee is taking over the school and being assholes about it, and wants to try and fix that, and that's why they're there. That is interesting. Like, there's an actual reason that these future characters are here, and it's a reason why they're still part of this future foundation thing in the future, and they're just like, we want to be Hope's Peak Academy, but better. Even if that dude turned around and said, it's just like, I'm talking like that to the kid, so he doesn't get too close. It's just like, no, you're still just a violent arsehole who likes putting down other people. Even if you did that to accomplish your goal, you went about it in a way where you enjoyed it, because you're just a violent dick. Like, that's still a thing. And it's upsetting to see Hajime just, like, have that conversation with Chiaki and, like, come to terms with himself. And then as a result of many people dying and someone beating the absolute shit out of him for trying to find out what the fuck happened, he's kind of given up on it. And again, comes back to the whole thing of just, like, it feels like things happen really quickly in this. It's probably because, like, in the Danganronpa games, there's a lot of dialogue that just serves to elaborate more on the characters. Like, there's a lot of dialogue that is just them talking shit to each other. Like, I'm not even just talking about the free time events, just in the actual interim of everything happening. There's a lot of time where it's just characters talking to each other, just being characters. Where in this, if a character's going to have a line that explores them as a character, because there's so much less time to do everything that they need to do, even lines that explore character need to advance the plot forward, which is why Fika's sister was introduced, and within 15 minutes, her and her killer are dead. Like, it feels like it's happening very, very quickly. And part of that is also just the fact that they have half the amount of episodes as they would normally have for each of these, because they're splitting it into two. It's going to feel like it's going very quickly. Very consistently. I'm still enjoying it. It's just something I'm noticing. Like, I'm not even necessarily criticizing the fact that it feels like it's going super fast. If there's a criticism that you can give to the Danganronpa games, it might be the fact that they're too slow and too long. I personally don't think so, because I enjoyed my time going through it, and, like, doing the stuff in between builds you up for that emotional impact moment of when someone does indeed die. Like, here we're not going to have as much of an emotional impact when someone dies, because we've known them for way less long. We don't know anywhere near as much about the characters we do in Danganronpa. But I also understand that that may not be this series' entire focus. Or at least the future one. Like, people dying in the future one is meant to drive the plot of just like, what the fuck is happening? Whereas the despair arc, we already know the characters, so it's going to be about that fall into despair that's going to, like, be the emotional impact part, and us having been through an entire game with those characters is, like, already building up to that, and I hope they try and utilize that as much as they can, but I mean, even the first 2 episodes of this were very much dedicated on trying to explore these characters before their fall, even though we already had an entire game with them, just to really drive that point home. Like, them falling to despair feels like it's definitely meant to be more upsetting than the characters in the future arc dying. Which, again, makes sense just because of how the nature of it is. Like, it's not a criticism, that's me just addressing that that's how it has to be, and they're actually aiming for that instead of trying to make it not what it isn't. That was a weird sentence. Anyway, on the next episode, we shall jump back into the future and see Makoto's face be cut in half by a giant fucking sword from Munakata. So that'll be fun. So, until then, this is version 2, signing out.